The Secret of the Abandoned Station, Episode 6. James walked away from Grey Hollow Station, the cold night air biting at his skin. The glowing key in his hand felt heavier than ever, as if the secrets it carried weighed on his very soul. The mist around the station began to dissipate, revealing the dark silhouette of the surrounding forest. He paused at the edge of the trees, looking back one last time at the station that had become both a mystery and a curse. He knew he had unlocked something ancient, something that was never meant to be disturbed. The whispers had gone silent, and the shadows that once lurked in every corner had retreated. Yet, despite the calm that had settled over the station, James couldn't shake the feeling that his journey was far from over. Grey Hollow had let him leave, but it had not let him go. As he stepped into the forest, the trees loomed above, their branches clawing at the sky like fingers. The path was narrow, and the air grew colder with each step. His lantern flickered, casting long shadows on the ground. The forest was quiet, too quiet. No wind rustled the leaves, and no animals stirred in the underbrush. It was as if the world held its breath, waiting for something to happen. James pressed on, following the faint trail that led deeper into the woods. The key continued to glow, pulsing softly in his hand. It felt warm, almost as if it was guiding him somewhere. The thought sent a chill down his spine. What if the key wasn't just an object? What if it had its own will, its own purpose? He tightened his grip, his mind racing with questions. The station's secrets had been hidden for a reason, and he feared what he might uncover if he kept going. But he also knew that turning back was no longer an option. The truth was out there, and he was determined to find it. After what felt like hours of walking, James emerged into a clearing. In the center stood an old, crumbling structure, an ancient temple half buried in the earth. Vines covered its stone walls, and the entrance was guarded by two weathered statues, their faces obscured by time. The key pulsed more intensely now, as if urging him forward. Taking a deep breath, James approached the temple. The air was thick with an unspoken tension, and the silence felt heavy, almost oppressive. He could feel the weight of the history that clung to the stones, the stories of those who had come before. As he reached the entrance, the key glowed brighter, illuminating the path ahead. He stepped inside, the lantern light revealing a narrow passageway lined with ancient carvings. The walls told stories, scenes of people building the station, of rituals performed under the moonlight, and of shadows reaching out to claim those who ventured too far. James ran his hand along the stone, feeling the grooves of the carvings. They were cold, and the touch sent a shiver through him. The passage opened into a large chamber. At its center stood a stone pedestal, similar to the one he had seen in Grey Hollow Station. But this one was different. Its surface was etched with symbols that glowed faintly, as if waiting for something. The key in his hand pulsed, and he felt it pull him toward the pedestal. With a sense of trepidation, James placed the key on the pedestal. The room shuddered, and the symbols flared to life, casting a blue light that filled the chamber. The air grew electric, and the ground beneath his feet trembled. The shadows on the walls twisted, forming shapes that danced and writhed in the light. Suddenly, the floor split open, revealing a swirling vortex of blue light. The energy surged, and the room was filled with the echo of whispers, familiar and yet different. James felt the pull of the vortex, the same force he had felt back at the station. It was as if the temple and the station were connected, two pieces of a larger puzzle. The whispers grew louder, and from the vortex, a figure began to emerge. It was translucent, like the ghosts he had seen before, but this one was different. It wore a cloak that billowed in the energy of the vortex, and its eyes glowed with an intense blue light. The figure's face was hidden, but its presence was commanding. "Who are you?" James called out, his voice echoing in the chamber. The figure raised a hand, and the whispers ceased. "You have awakened the key," it said, its voice deep and resonant. "But the truth you seek comes with a price." James felt a chill run down his spine. What is this place? What is Grey Hollow? The figure's eyes glowed brighter. Grey Hollow is a gateway, a bridge between worlds. It was built to harness the power of time itself, but its creators paid a terrible price. The station, the temple, they are bound together, part of the same network. And now you are part of it. James's heart pounded. What do you mean? The figure pointed to the key. The key has chosen you. It will guide you, but it will also test you. The shadows you faced are only the beginning. If you wish to uncover the truth, you must be willing to face what lies beyond. The chamber shuddered, and the vortex pulsed with energy. James felt the pull, stronger than before. What happens if I refuse? The figure's expression remained unreadable. If you refuse, the veil will remain open and the shadows will spread. Grey Hollow will become a beacon, drawing others into its web. The cycle will continue. James looked down at the key. The weight of the decision pressed down on him. He had come this far, and he couldn't turn back now. Taking a deep breath, he met the figure's gaze. What do I need to do? The figure extended its hand. The path lies ahead. But know this, once you begin, there is no turning back. The shadows will test you, and the truth may not be what you expect. James felt a surge of determination. I'm ready. The figure nodded, and the vortex swirled faster, the light intensifying. Then step forward and face the shadows. James gripped the key tightly and stepped toward the vortex, his heart pounding. The air was filled with energy, and the light enveloped him. As he crossed the threshold, the chamber disappeared, and he felt himself pulled into the unknown. 6.